Are you a small business owner in Queensland? Were you aware that there is a $10,000 grant available for your business to help you get more notice online? If you didn't know that, well, good news. Today's video is all about how you can apply for the Small Business Digital Grant and receive funding for up to $10,000 towards your business. My name's Kyle. I am the digital strategist at Maple and Honey Digital Agency. We're a Queensland-based business, family owned and operated, and we've been helping hundreds of clients around Australia over the past 4 years get ahead with their business online. The Small Business Digital Grant is run by the Queensland government and has been made available for the last 3 years, from my understanding, excuse me, to help small business owners with their digital marketing and their digital platforms. What I want to run through in today's video is 3 things. Is your business eligible? How you can apply, and what the process is for applying for the grant. So this video will hopefully run through that and help you with the application, and maybe you might get up to $10,000 to help invest in your business. Now, one thing to note, guys, is that the round 6 closing date is in as at least at the date of recording, 3 weeks, 1 day, 6 hours, and 55 minutes, which means that we don't have much time to do this. So I feel like this video is very timely, and I'm hoping will be a valuable tool for you to figure this system out. All right, so I've created a free document, which I will link in the description below. Let me tab. All right, there we go. So I've created a small business digital grant guideline, and I've been using the Queensland business website's guideline to summarize this for you. Essentially, this program and this grant is there to help see small businesses grow to medium-sized businesses, use the latest digital technologies to help with their competitiveness and help user experience and customer journeys. So if you have a website, for example, and your conversion rate's really low, or you've been looking at a system that you have been dreaming of for the last few years, but just haven't got the budget for it, then this grant is perfect for you. Other parts in this is also to help upskill your staff to benefit from the new technologies. So for example, CRM systems, investing in accounting software, investing in booking systems and booking portals, investing in e-com. All these things can be projects that you could run through this program. Some of the other things that we've seen clients do are things like setting up a podcast, setting up online training, setting up a website for membership programs. These all can be covered as long as you have a good business case and you have a good project charter that you take in your application. So if you're successful for this grant, you can receive funding for up to $10,000 excluding GST, that the government will pay 50% of the funding for that project. So what that means is you can have a project for up to $22,000, including GST, and the government will give you $10,000 towards that project, which is pretty damn cool, I think. The fact that you can get a 50% discount because the government is investing in your business is pretty neat. So the minimum grant funding amount, you don't have to spend $22,000, guys. That's, if that's outside of your budget, then obviously you don't need to spend it all. The minimum grant funding is $1,000, which means that you have to spend at least $2,000 on the project in order to be eligible. Now, who can apply? I've, again, highlighted this in this document, but essentially, let me tidy up the formatting. But essentially, you have to have an Australian business, right? That's obvious. You need to have less than 20 employees. You need to have an ABN and be registered for GST, and your headquarters need to be in Queensland. Now, this is just for small business owners as well, which means that you have to have earned less than $2 million in revenue on the last financial year. If you're earning more than that, unfortunately, guys, you are no longer a small business. Congratulations. Now, the last thing is to cover off is that you cannot be an insolvent or have any of your directors or owners that have been bankrupt before. So these are the eligibility criteria for the funding. And if you tick all these boxes, fantastic. It means that you can apply and can be considered for this grant. Now, what won't be funded? So one of the common questions that we get about this grant is that, I want to invest into my digital marketing. I want to start running Facebook ads. Well, look, there is some criteria here of what won't be funded. So we've already covered off that the fact that the project must be $2,000 or more in total. Anything below that won't be considered. You can't include in travel costs for staff. You can't, do contra deals where you're doing service for service. You can't hire people who are related parties. So for example, if your dad runs a business and you want to get a project run through him, unfortunately, that's not going to work. That's breaking the rules. So it has to be a third party that you're not related to, essentially. And that includes employees, that includes, business partners, that includes anything. So if you own a company and you're trying to charge, or you're trying to do a project with another company of yours, obviously that's not going to float. So you do need to be mindful that the project needs to be from somebody you don't have any business ties with, essentially. It can't be for franchise fees, which is important. If you're trying to set up a franchise, then this grant doesn't work for you. And direct selling. So essentially, you can't have a business where you're going in and doing, party planning, or you're doing door-to-door sales. This is for digital projects. So it has to be something like that. Another common question is looking at like website hosting or maintaining existing technologies. So for example, if you already have a CRM or you already have a booking system, you can't charge for the running costs of that. You've already set that up. But if you don't have something like that, then by all means, you can apply for it. So you may as well do what we call a gap analysis on your systems, see if there are other systems out there that might be better than what you have, and then you can migrate to that and charge for that cost in your project. Another thing is that website hosting it can be covered, but only for 12 months and only if it's a new website or if it's a new build. So if you are redoing your website, you're migrating it to a new hosting provider, then you may be able to include that cost in your project. But if you already have a website and you're trying to pull a sneaky one, it's not going to work. The last thing, and probably the most important one that we get asked a lot, is can you charge for advertising campaigns? Unfortunately, you can't factor in the advertising costs. Now, what we've determined from this is that you can hire somebody to help with your ads, so they can set up a marketing plan, a sales funnel, they can manage your account for you, and you can charge for that, or you can include that in your project charter. But you can't include advertising budgets. So you can't say, all right, in my digital grant, I want $5,000 worth of advertising budget that's going to be paid for by the government. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. They want it to go to more local businesses. They want it to go to creating jobs in Australia. So that's why they've done that, from my understanding. Now, the grant can cover development costs or online marketing plans, but not the actual advertising dollars. So you can't say, I want $5,000 that I'm going to invest in Facebook ads and I'm going to manage it myself. It's got to go through someone, and that cost you have to pay for, excluded from the project charter. What else? So goods or services purchased or any payments made prior to the grant funding. I mean, that's obvious, right? If you're trying to get funding for a project, you can't have already paid for the project. You have to wait till you're approved, and then that's when you charge. So that's an important thing that we need to note. If you are looking to apply, we'll cover this off in a little bit, but essentially you do need to make sure that you are not paying for anything yet. What's this pop up? What's going on? Google, what are you doing? Asking me to take notes? All right. So what I wanted to talk to you about now is what can you do or what can be included in your project charter for your application. So some common examples of this, guys, is setting up a new website for your business that includes a booking system, or e-commerce to sell products and services online, or some type of CRM or a customer relationship management system, for example, like Salesforce or Zoho CRM. Setting something up that's going to help you with your sales process and manage your customer relations is always a good idea. If you don't have a system like this set up, then obviously that might be something that you could look at. What me and my team are offering, sorry about my phone going off, what me and my team are offering is a consultation, which goes through your business objectives, goes through your goals, talks to what you want to achieve. And then what we do is some research on the best tools to help you achieve that. And we'll come up with a project charter for you that outlines, here's the platforms we'd recommend you using. So for example, it could be Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, SEO, this type of stuff. It could be setting up a website that does all the features that you need for your business. It could be setting up a CRM for your business. It could be helping with email marketing. Whatever it is, we'll put together a plan to help you improve your systems, bring in like some solid ROI, And essentially, you'll be able to take that for your application. We can help you even with the application and help get that submitted. So, if you have some objectives that you had in mind, like for example, I was talking to a client the other day, and they were saying that they do bond cleaning around the kind of South Brisbane area, and they want to grow their fleet. So they currently have 2 cars or 2 vans, and they want to grow that to 5. They don't have good systems in place. They don't have an online booking form or quoting form or anything like that. They don't have a website. They don't have much of a social media presence. Right now, a lot of their business is from referrals and from real estate agents, and that's it. They want to grow though. And right now they're struggling to find new leads and find new business. So the plan that we proposed to them was to set them up with a CRM that allowed them to get get quotes through the system that would be assigned to their staff, their operations team. That CRM would allow them to upload photos so that head office could go through, quote the job, and send through an invoice, and then have those guys schedule in a time and date to kind of streamline their system. As well, we recommended setting up a website with a content strategy. So creating blogs that were talking about what people would be researching when they're looking for a good bond cleaning or a cleaning company. So, 3 tips to find or 3 tips for good cleaning practices, or I don't know, different things that are quite challenging for cleaning that people would want to research and figure out. And then, you could potentially then get them to just quote it. Because if it's like me, guys, I know that when I do a bond clean or, I'm moving out of a place, I genuinely start thinking I can do it all myself. And I'm like, yeah, I'll clean the whole place, no worries. And then you start kind of looking into it and you realize there's a lot of work. And so I generally get quotes straight away because I'm like, well, let's just see how much it costs and how much time it would take. And yeah, I'll just get somebody else to do it. So generally I'll start looking for how I can find good, quick cleaning hacks. And then that leads into a quote. It's just the way I think, I guess. So, coming up with a website, coming up with a good social media strategy in terms of paid ads in their area to get people to apply for quotes. So on Facebook and Google, get a good website that can handle traffic and help grow their digital presence on Google and through SEO, and integrate it all with their CRM. So this is a big project, right? Obviously that's something that would cost maybe north of $10,000 to implement. Plus you've got the advertising budget, you've got ongoing advertising management. So this was a great project for my client to basically take and apply to the Small Business Digital Grant. We helped them create a digital plan. So we came up with all this that I just outlined and said, all right, here's the timeline. Here's the budget. Here's what costs you would need to pay for ongoing. Here's the affected parties and affected systems that you already have. Here's how you would need to implement this in terms of having somebody who's trained up on it on the business. And here's some great resources for you to kind of learn these processes. So that's essentially what we did with that client. And that's just one example, right? You could be setting up an e-commerce store. You could be setting up a membership site. You could be redesigning your sales funnel. You could be doing webinars, podcasts, whatever it is. But the main thing you got to focus on is what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? And then kind of reverse engineer your project from that to find the best tools to do it. So if you've been dreaming of doing a podcast or you've been dreaming of doing online courses, this could be the chance for you to put this into motion. And I think by putting together a project plan, you're solidifying that dream of yours and making it a reality. And if you can get some funding, even better. You're getting half of it paid for by the government. So I hope that all makes sense, guys, and I hope that I've covered everything off. Let me just quickly check. So we've talked about, is your business eligible? We've talked about how you can apply. Now, what I want to go into is, talking more about the application process. So the project has to be completed within 3 months of the date that you've been approved. So applications are open now, and they close on the 26th of June at 5 p.m. Your application must include a detailed quote for the whatever technology you're wanting to implement. You need to have a clear outline of how this is going to help your business. So it's showing them ROI or showing them case studies or showing them some form of evidence that this is going to improve your business. You need to also show the impact that this technology is going to make on the business. So like I said, is this going to save time? Is this going to save costs? Is this going to help with your employee outcomes or employment outcomes? Is this going to help grow your revenue? You need to be able to demonstrate that. And then also, you need a declaration of employee headcount just to say that you don't have more than 20 employees. And then you got to confirm and break down how you're going to match that financial contribution. If you are hiring someone or you have a consultant who is delivering a service, then you need to have a project proposal and a quote from that consultant. So we are a digital agency. We offer project proposals and quotes, and we offer as well, to help you through this process and provide those kind of delivery timeframes all in a project charter to help with your application. So we also need to, if you are going through a consultant, you just need to make sure that you have all of the service delivery costs. You have the name of key people who are going to be the project owners and the project managers, and just saying who's doing what, because you only have 3 months from the date of application to kind of complete this. So it does need to be done within that time frame. Now, the main things that the application are going to be judged on is essentially looking at the impact that the digital technology will have on the business. So this is going to be looking at the key kind of case studies and revenue growth kind of that you've outlined. It's going to be looking at the extent of the digital capabilities of the business. Is this going to help you be more competitive? It's going to streamline your user experience. It's going to help you get more bookings. It's going to help you get more leads. You got to show that this is a big step up. And then as well, is this going to have the potential or likelihood of it delivering more jobs in your local area? So the client example that I gave you before of trying to get from 2 cleaning vehicles to 5, clearly that has the implications of delivering job growth, because if you have 3 more cars on the road and you're getting all those jobs, you're probably going to need 6 more employees to be able to deliver those services. So you got to show that this will have a good impact on the job market. So that's how the assessment will happen and how you can apply. So the application must be made before the 26th of June. We've got 3 weeks from today, basically, the day of recording. And what's the process? So the first step is obviously submitting your online application. So this is all done through the online portal, Smarty Grants, and it's something that you can do with a project charter. So that outlines your implementation strategy, that implements your budgets, your revenue growth, all those types of things. And then you need to attach any quotes and proposals from suppliers. Or if it's a service provider, then obviously same goes for them. The next thing is looking at the eligibility check. So you need to make sure that your business is eligible. And we've already run through that. So you should hopefully already know by now if you're eligible for this grant. So third step is obviously it goes through an assessment panel. Now, this is when the Australian government will go through and essentially decide on who should get the grants. Finally, the next step is that you will be notified of the outcome, whether you've been successful or not. And then the last one is that they will follow up and essentially be looking to pay those grants once you've provided them with valid tax invoices showing that you've paid for everything. So it is paid in arrears, essentially. So once you've paid for the project, you'll then be reimbursed for that 50% of the total project cost. So that pretty much outlines the small business digital grant. I think this is a fantastic initiative by the Queensland government to help Australian entrepreneurs get ahead. And part of our mission is to help with your application and help you with a project proposal and putting together all of the details that you need. So let me step into that for a second. What we've done is, as an agency, we've put together a package or a program that will help you essentially figure out if you're eligible. We'll go through your company goals and all of your opportunities. We'll look at what tools you're using, what pain points you have, and we'll try to find the best solution to propose to your business. So if you're, again, looking at growing your revenue, we'll look at what tools might be best for that. We'll put together a marketing plan. We'll come up with a project charter and basically deliver that to you, which we can use in the application. Now, what we want to do with our grant application package is we do charge for our time as a one-off fee. So we charge basically to make sure that we are going through that discovery session with you. We talk about, what opportunities you want to take advantage of, where you want to take the business, and then how we can put together a project proposal for you. And that can range from about $4,000 up to $20,000. I mean, you could do $2,000, but it's really up to you what your budget, what you can afford in your business. I do recommend, pushing it up because you can only apply for this once and be successful. Sorry, you can only apply and be approved once. You can apply multiple times if you're unsuccessful, but if you win, there's only the one shot of using this. So you really do want to maximize the potential value of that grant, right? You don't want to do like a $2,000 grant and then in the future be like, damn it, I really wish I'd done the 20 grand project. So you definitely want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that. Now, part of our application package is that whether you win or lose, so if your application is unsuccessful, we are more than happy to put that money that you've paid for the application into some of our digital marketing services. So essentially, you're recouping the cost that you've invested in the application process with us anyways. So I think that that's kind of a good guarantee, I guess, that even if your application isn't successful, which I very much hope it will be, you can still, get something out of that money that you've spent. If you do win, obviously fantastic. That works best for you. That works best for us. We can all win and make sure that we're, investing that grant money into some amazing systems that will really help drive more revenue growth for your business. So with that said, what I wanted to highlight is how you can take the next steps. So essentially what we've done is we've put together a grant application discovery session, which is $4.99. That goes over 1 hour for us to go through and get all the information from you that we need. From this, we'll have 3 more sessions that were done by video call. So essentially, we'll go through the project charter together. We'll talk about the tools that we've proposed. And essentially, we'll come up with a great plan for attack to get this submitted. Now, this should take up to 2 weeks at the most, because obviously we don't have much time left. The applications are closing. Round 6 is closing in 3 weeks, 1 day. So we don't have too much time. But that said, we can definitely turn this around and get it back to you so that you can submit it, or we can submit it on your behalf fairly quickly. So what we'll do is we're offering that 1 hour discovery session where we'll run through everything in your business. We will write this all down. We'll do the research on the industry, just kind of see like what tools might be best for your business. And then we'll come back in another 30-minute session to go through the tools that we're suggesting and the costs and things like that. Then once you've approved the tools, we will come up with a project charter, which outlines the goals of the project, the cost of the project, the timelines for the project, and the implementation plan in terms of making sure that you're comfortable with everything and you've got somebody there to help. Now, we will create the project charter, which you can use in your application. Obviously, there's a bit of work to figure out the revenue growth and to see the case studies from each of these project charters, but essentially that should be the crux of your application. We'll also create a proposal and a quote that you can use in your application from our agency for the services that we are providing. So you can book online at the moment on our website, maplehoney.co/small business digital grants. I'll put a link in the video as well, and you can click here, choose a time that suits you best to get things going straight away. Now, if you're still a little bit hesitant and you want to ask some questions first, you're more than welcome to book a free consultation with me. That goes for 30 minutes and we can run through all these questions with you. More than happy to do both. But I know a lot of people are pretty keen to just kick things off. So if you're one of those people, you can book up here. But if you want to talk a little bit more first, there's always the option there. So I really hope, guys, that this did, outline how the digital marketing grant, the small business digital grant works here in Queensland. I'm really excited to see if we can help you and your business get a successful application from this program. I think it's a fantastic initiative to really help entrepreneurs get ahead. I know that we have seen a lot of businesses really thrive from using this, and we'll be applying ourselves as well because why not, right? It's a great grant, and I can really see this bring a lot of value to many businesses. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out. But I hope this video provided a lot of value to you on how you can grow your business. Thanks, guys.